Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio. This is for the week May 18th. That's right, the last week of school. This is my PLC project. It's for my 5-year-olds. It's a cool acrylic and water painting. I like it. We're going to have a lot of fun. You can choose to use the colors that I'm using, or you can do your own colors as well, but follow along with me. The things that you'll need for this particular project is, of course, some watercolor paper. You're going to need a paper towel. You're going to need water and a couple of brushes, the larger and the small. Watercolor paint, this is only going to be used on the background. You may want a pencil, a paper plate, and you're going to use some paint. And the paints that I'm going to be using today are red, green, possibly green, yeah, red, green, white, maybe some black, and some blue. Okay, so that's what you're going to need for this particular project. All right, so to get started, what I think we'll do, because I know the pencil shows through the watercolor likely, so I'm going to draw, just pencil draw a circle, a big circle, a line, and some of these other things over here to help us get started with the project. Then we're going to put our background color on, okay? All right, so I'll see if I can draw it on my arm for you. So up here, our big flower, we're going to put a circle that goes way up here. Now it doesn't have to be a perfect circle, because we're going to add paint on this, okay? Just kind of making placeholders so we know where they go. All right. Then I have another big flower. It goes kind of off the side and over here, just like that. Okay. Then I know I want a stem right here, so I'm going to put 2 lines and draw a stem. And I want a stem over here, just like that. Okay. And it's going to have some petals, so I'm going to draw some petals. 1, 2. Another one over here. There's another one down here. Excuse me. On this side we have a petal. Sorry about me clearing my throat. I'm doing that a lot because I'm taping a lot of these different projects at one time. So I've been talking all day. So I apologize for my clearing of my throat. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and another one right here. Then we're going to have a circular flower right here and another one up here. So 2 little circles. And then lines to go down, whoop, whoop, just like that, okay? Let's see, and then over here, there's another circle right about here, and another one over here, and this stem, get a little closer to you, the stem goes down, and this stem kind of comes around. You don't really see it, stops right there. Because now I'm going to put another flower right here. So I'm going to go round, around, around, and around, and then a stem. Okay? There's another flower right in here. So there's a circle and a line. And then we're going to put whoop, 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 the petals. Okay? And then that one has a little, looks like a little leaf over there, and then some leaves right here. Okay? So far, so good. Now we're going to draw a little bird that sits up top of here. We're going to do that in a minute. Let me see something easier for you. I think we're going to do, let me show you back on this one. You see how around our circles we have these? They go whoop, 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 little ovals like that. We're going to draw those all around those big circles, okay? So just go. Just like that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All around the big circles. Probably be much easier for you drawing it ahead of time than it would be trying to do it later, okay? So just do that. Now, if you need help with this, ask mom and dads to help you with the drawing. You can stop this video and you can start it up to catch up after, okay? So that's what the finished, well, no, excuse me, I almost forgot there's a little bird on there. So there's a little bird sitting over here. Let me show you on this one. There he is, right there, okay? And he's pretty easy shape to draw. He's got little legs, so his legs are coming up, okay? And then he's got a little belly, just like that. He has a beak over here, boop. And his little head comes and it goes around like this, and that's his bottom. Then he's got a little tail feather just like that, and another little tail feather like that, and another little tail feather like that. And that's the shape that he is, okay? So that's a complete drawing right there. Now, all that's left is the painting part, okay? So we're going to start that here in a sec. All right. So drawing's done. We're going to paint the background first, and I'm using watercolor again because I like the way it dries. You can put it right over. I think that it won't show, but I tell you what, I'm going to kind of fill in around the back. I'm not going to bother going in these big circles because we're going to put paint in there. So I'm just going to go around the other stuff as best as possible. And it looks like for this one I used some blue and green together. It makes it kind of like a little teal color for the background color. So I'm just taking a little bit of green and blue watercolor. Green and blue watercolor, okay? And I'm just gonna put that on. Now, I'm gonna go around some of this big stuff. Do you see how that's going inside of my drawing, but I can still see my drawing? That's perfectly fine because we're gonna use acrylic paint and it's gonna cover up any of that watercolor that you do. But doing it this way, you can still see your drawing, and that's good. That's what we're going for. We want to be able to see this drawing. But I'm just putting it on just so all the background area will be covered. I'm just loosely putting it on the background, and I'll show you what this looks like in just a minute. So we want to see. Because our background's pretty light. Oops, I'm almost done. Just a minute. Okay. So that's the background. You see how all the background is colored, but it's gone over some areas, but we can still see the drawings, and that's what's important. So we can just color all that stuff in. All right. So at this point, I would let it dry. You should let yours dry. You want it completely dry before you do anything to it. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up some paints for this, and then we'll get started in just a minute. So I want to do pink, so of course that's white and red, so I'm going to mix that up. And that's what I'm going to use to start painting in my big flowers. I'm going to use my big brush because it's easier. So I've got a little white and red. I'm just going to pull some of the red into the white. And mix it up. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it kind of like a pencil and then just swirl it like this. Now it's okay if I have white parts showing because we're going to add some other colors into this. And I'm going all the way around to where that circle ends. I have not painted in those little half circles that go around the edges of that. We're going to do that with a smaller brush in a minute because it would be much easier for you to do with a smaller brush, okay? So it's just a circle, kind of like we did that Rose Mother's Day project, circles. This is just bigger ones, but kind of the same type of thing. So you should understand kind of how to paint these in because we've been doing some of these shapes like this before. So none of this should be a new concept for you. Okay. Just about got that. All right. So there's that pink part of the flowers. Okay. So now I'm gonna wash that brush. Actually, I'm just gonna leave it in the water. I'm not gonna use that big brush anymore, most likely. Now I'm gonna take that same color pink, and you go ahead and you start painting inside of those little half circle things you made, or little oval things that go around your flowers, little humps like that. You can just draw right on the pencil line and fill them in. So that's what I'm going to keep doing for both of these flowers. I'm going to go ahead and draw those little half circles on there, or ovals all around both flowers, and then I'm just going to quickly fill those in. So this one, well, it might take us a little longer than the project did take us last week, but let's see how it works out. Always with any project, take your time to make sure that you did a good job, okay? All right, so now what I've done is just trace over the pencil line, so I can just go ahead and start filling in those areas, and that won't take me long to do. All right. Just filling them all in. Get ready for your next step. Your next step is going to be, we're going to make a little bit of purple. So hopefully you remember what two colors make purple. I'm sure you do. Red and blue make purple. All right, so I've got those all filled in now. So I'm going to wash dry my brush. Then I'm going to make sure I have enough red and blue on my plate so I can make some purple. And I'll show you what that's going to be for. Ooh, hopefully I got enough blue. Okay. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of purple. Let's see how that goes. Mix it up. Remember, if you put a lot of red, it's going to become a reddish purple. So more blue is going to make it more of a true purple, which is what I'm looking for. So I don't want too much red in mine. Okay, so I've got my purple mixed up. Let's look at this one here. The purple is going to be, we're going to use it to outline all those little areas that we did up there. And we're also going to put some swirling into the flower. Okay, and then there's some purple, oops, I painted this. There's some purple over here, and there's some purple over here, and purple lines. So that's what we're going to use the purple for next, okay? Alrighty. If you want to lighten the purple up a little too, you can also, I'm going to grab just a little bit of white. I'm not going to make a lavender because that would be really white, really pale. But I want to look a little bit more like purple. Right now it's looking a little red. There we go. Added a little bit of white. All right, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to swirl some of this purple in on my pink flower on the areas that don't have any paint. We're going to add some other colors in there as well, okay? It also goes around the edge of the middle of the flower, and then we're going to add this around the little ruffles on the outside edge of the flowers as well. Okay, so I'm adding some purple to both of these flowers. Ooh, apparently I dripped some on my, that's okay, we'll have to do something with that. All right. All right, so as you can see, I dripped some out further than where they wanted to go. So what I can just do is I can actually, I'm going to make these petals on this flower a little bigger because they're outlined in purple. So that drip can kind of just disappear. You won't even see it. That's how you can fix some mistakes. Okay, now I want to add some, there's some other purple. There's a purple flower right here, so you just go swirly swirl, get that on. There is a purple one over here, swirly swirl, put that on. Then there is the outline of this one is purple, so you can outline this one. Yep, it's got another petal. Let's stick that right there. And then it's got a stem. And this stem is purple. This outline is purple. This stem is purple. This stem has some purple. We're going to add another color. And sort of the outlines of the leaves. Stems are purple or have purple in them. Okay. So last part that's going to be purple on this is going to go around these little ruffle areas on the edge. So around these parts right here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of those areas real quick, and then we will move to the next color. Okay. So moms and dads, if you're watching this one, this is something that I would probably take 2 to 3 classes to do with the kiddos. I would not do all of this at once. So I would probably let like all this portion that we've done today, I'd let it dry and then go back and start adding some other colors. Because little kids tend to you know, they get happy, they would rush it a bit, and paint colors start mixing with other ones, and it won't look maybe as pretty as you'd like it to. So I would definitely probably do this one in more than one sitting. So we'll do a little bit more, and then I will show you where, you know, I would want you to stop and let it dry before I went and finished the rest of this one today. Okay? All right. So there's a little more purple, and that is inside of this, but it's more of a lavender, so I'm going to grab some white on my brush so it's a lighter purple or lavender in the middle of that one, and maybe put some light color in this too over here and around the edge here. Okay, so that is where I would stop today. Stop, let it dry. It doesn't take long for this to dry, so let it dry for an hour or something or two. And if it's all dry, then you come back and do what I'm about to do right now. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to get some green. And the green that we've used on this looks like it's green mixed with some blue. So I have some blue on my paint already, right? I have blue paint on my plate already. I'm going to mix that in the corner, and let's see what we can come up with. I can grab some more blue too if we need. Looks like we might need a little more blue. If it wants to come out. Okay. So it's green mixed with blue. Okay, that's the color we're looking for. So if we look at this one, it's got that color in the two big flowers, and it has that color some other places too. So let me show you what to do with that. Okay, so now I'm going to put it, it's in the middle here. Excuse me. Now I'm just going to kind of fill up some of these empty spaces and put this color. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to do kind of like a light tealy color as well. Put some more blue and white with them after we do this. Okay, so it's got the green in there, and then this has a stem that's green. So you're going to want to paint in that stem. Remember, you have the drawing for this already on your papers. This has a little more green in this purpley stem over here, and this is a green stem. And this has some green leaves. Okay, and there's a little bit of green in this circle flower over here, but we're going to add some blue to that as well. And these leaves are trimmed on the outside edge, what it looks like in some of this green. Okay, just like that. There's a teeny bit of green right here, and I'm just going to add a little green and rub it, just very little. I barely touched the paper to do that, and a little bit down here. Just put a tiny bit, and then I rubbed it. Oop. But yours would be dry. See, that's what I'm talking about. I rubbed it a little bit, and some of the purple got in where I wanted a green. So I'm just going to leave that alone for a minute, okay? But yours should be dry because, remember, you aren't painting those yet. You should not be painting those yet. Okay. So the next color we want to make is we want to make this kind of bluish green, like a teal color, right? So we've got the blue-green here, but it's too greenish. So I'm going to put a little bit more blue on my plate. And we're also going to add some white as well, okay? But before we do that, there's a small flower over there that's pretty blue over here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of that blue, and I'm going to put it right here. Okay. There, so that flower's done. All right, now I'm going to mix. I want that tealish color, but it's got white in it, and that's what makes it lighter. So it's blue with a little bit of green and white, and it's going to make that kind of a light tealy color that we'll be using. Okay. See if we got us a good amount, fair amount of that. Excuse me, again. Talking all day. Losing my voice a little. Okay. So I want that light blue color to color in my bird. I'm going to paint in the inside of my bird. Okay. Looks a little more gray than I want. So let me see if I can get a little bit more of that green and blue color to make it a prettier color. Okay. Painting his tail. its body and its little legs. So I've got that bird up there. I might add a little something to him. We're going to add a little darker wing and some things in just a minute, okay? So I want to take that same color, and I'm going to use that color, and I'm going to put it in the inside of this flower, and then I'm going to put some in the inside of the petals of this flower, okay? Remember, yours should be dry, because I might pull some of my color that I just painted on there with my paint. But yours should be nice and dry before you do all this stuff, okay? Okay, so I've got that teal color in there, and I'm putting a little bit more of this in here. That'd be pretty. And then the same kind of teal color is going to also go in some of my petals, or not petals, excuse me, some of my leaves. So a little bit in here. Looks like I need some more green on these petals right here. Let me see. There's a little bit over here. Oop, pulling purple again. Okay. So there's a little bit here. I'm just going to rub it. Now again, yours should be dry. Mine is pulling color around. We don't want to mess with that. That looks a little strange. Okay. All right, now jump around a little bit. I didn't paint these guys in, so I want some more of that green. It's a light green, so it's got a little bit of the white in it, looks like. Okay, and I'm going to paint in the inside of these. Fabulous. Okay, so we've got those. Wash and dry your brush. There's a little bit of white in these leaves over here, so I'm going to grab, looks like there's some pink in my white. I'm trying not to grab too much pink. Some straight white, and there's some little dots. You can add your own patterns in these if you want to add some dots in yours. That would be cool. There's two more down here. I tell you what, there's also some more white dots in this one around this flower too. So I think I'm going to grab a little more white because mine's starting to turn a little pink. It looks a little weird. Okay. Anytime you're picking up other colors in your paint, wash your brush definitely. So there, ooh. See, now, if you guys were here with me, you would have seen that I forgot to do some purple down here, but I gotta fix that, don't I? Okay, so there's some white right here, and there's some white dots here. Tap, tap, tap around here. Okay, and then, oh, there's some more white dots. They go right down this one. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. Now let's go back to that purple because I forgot. Now, if you didn't forget to do, you don't need to add purple here. This is just because I forgot, and I don't want to leave it like that for you guys. You'd be like, what is she doing? What are you doing, Miss Donna? Okay. So there you go with that. Now let me see. Need some more purple right here too, it looks like. All right. Oh, and there's some purple dots in this one. Tap, 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 tap. And some of the same kind of tealy color that we made should be in your flowers up here. So I'm going to find some more empty spots on my flowers and add that teal color. Okay. Just looking for some empty areas. That's cool. Okay, now I did some weird things over here. I made my paint run. Remember we talked about that because I didn't let it dry. So I'm just going to see if I can make some of this color the same color as on the background and try to fix it up a little bit so it doesn't look too strange. Okay. Well, let's see. We'll look at this, see if we need some other things. Okay, I think I am almost done. I'm going to grab a little bit of white and just kind of lighten up these a little bit because they look a little dark. And we're going to do a little something to the bird, and then I think we'll be all set. Okay. Now let's see, the bird. I'm going to take that straight blue and then, so it's darker blue than what's there, put a little bit on the legs, and I'm going to put a little bit, make a wing, a little bit for an eye, and then kind of on the outside edges of the tail, maybe on the beak. Okay. Awesome. So let me just take a peek at it, see if we need anything else. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah. I think we did it. There you go. So that is your last art project of the year for my PLC group. Thanks so much for doing some art with me at home. It was different, but it was fun, and we look forward to seeing everybody back at school soon. Thanks so much. Have a great day.